it's Kathleen. I'd like to share my latest junk journal with you. It's for a private swap on a Facebook group. There was no plan, it was just let's make a journal each in our own style, our own colours that we enjoy using. There was no, specifics on how many signatures or type of closure, and there was no time restraints, so it's been a really nice one to make. I've had no pressure with it. It's taken a couple months because I've been doing it on and off since just after Christmas really. So let's go through. So I've made it with 5 signatures, and most of the ephemera and things like that have come from Pinterest, and the printable sheets that I've got for my signature, the main part of the signature are from Ephemera's Vintage Garden. So 5 signatures, and the back is a print off from Pinterest, and I've got book corners to keep everything nice and neat, and sari ribbon as a closure. So on the spine I have got a nice dangle with sari ribbon and seam binding. I've got a little tiny bird's nest in like a glass case, and a little brass key as well. The front is a picture from Pinterest of this young lady, and I have got some cheesecloth at the background, in the background there, with some lace and some ric-rac. I've got a cotton doily there, which I've just used a little bit of vintage photo around the edges and on the doily, just to, because it's quite a bright white colour, just to soften it down, and some paper roses and a little tiny gold key down the bottom there as well. So as we open up, I have made an envelope here with my envelope maker. I've put some lace at the top. Again, it's got sari ribbon, sari silk, holding it closed, and that pops open, and there's just some tissue paper that's been stuck on there, so there's room in there for putting little notes or ephemera. And this is Ephemera's Vintage Garden. I can't remember what kit it is. There's a little pin up here, Tim Holtz paper pin, and a little cherish with a nice champagne coloured tassel, which again I put a little bit of vintage photograph on. And a little tiny bit of a paper tape there. These actually come from IKEA. They're the measuring tapes. I've got a couple, and I'll just tear it a bit off and make it look a little bit vintage by putting some colour on it. Bingo card under a little tuck there. The laces, most of them have been sewn on, some have been stuck on. Bird identification book page. I've made a journal out of this particular book, and that's on my YouTube channel as well, if you go and look for that. Just some paper there from a jotter book. I always end my signatures off with either flowers or butterflies, things like that. I've got a mason jar with a little tiny tag in there with some lace stapled on. I've got the tiny attacher by Tim Holtz, which is a lovely little, I know it's only a staple gun, but it just, they're tiny staples, and it's a nice, easy way to attach things, as opposed to those great big staple guns that we all own. Nice little postcard there that I I've lined on the back, and I've got a stamp up there, franking mark stamp, another little paper clip. That's a craft paper doily and a little stamp in the middle. Imagination Rules the World stamp. And the edges have all been sewn on the sewing machine. And in here I've got a little tuck spot there, and I've got some tissue there for sewing tissue. And I've got a little black and white picture and a tag with some lace on top. That's been sewn on, and they all tuck behind there. And the next page is like ledger paper. Again, I'm pretty sure that's Pinterest as well. I think we've all got most of these things printed off. I've got, this is quite a thick, almost like a chipboard type tag, and another picture there. And on the back there, it's little tiny stamps. I got that from, I want to say Geek. I think in America it's called Wish, and everything's really quite cheap, but you have to wait a few weeks for everything to arrive. But if you're paying a lot less money for it and really cheap postage and packaging, it's well worth waiting for. We've got a gentleman's card there, and a nice vintage photograph, and a library card, again one of those craft doilies. I've got some vellum paper there and a little gold E down there for the person who's receiving this. This is just 12 by 12 paper that I had, I cut down. I've stuck a glassine bag on there, and I've got a little Eiffel Tower stamp there, and I made a large tag as well. Put an eyelet through. Little side tuck there with some tags in, and again used a tidy attacher to put some of that dark lace on. And that again has got a little tiny stamp on it that says Little Moments. Just grab that stamp so you can see it. So it's one of these types, and it's I say it costs a couple quid from a couple £, and there is so much fun. There's a little bunting, that one's his name, and that one's his happy birthday to you. Details, thanks, little moments, date, I love you, remember, and a fun little moustache, and adventure with an arrow going through it. And it was so cheap, and although I had to wait about a month for it to arrive in the post, it's perfect for just putting little tiny details on. And I've got some gold rub-ons on the corner of there, the other side of the vellum. I've got some hessian, or burlap as it's known in America, and some tissue all sewn on down through there. Again, I've got Tim Holtz paper clip, and that holds I am grateful for. And on the back we have got another little postcard, again from Pinterest, and I just put another tiny gold rub-on that corner, some washi tape going down through that side. Next signature, here I've got a little tuck, again all Pinterest, a little black and white photograph. That's one of my favourites, it's really, really vintage looking, so I've just put one of these tabs on top, a little bit of blue ribbon and an old photograph. It's actually my daughter, but I've made it look like it's really old-fashioned because she had a really old-fashioned style dress on that day. She dressed up for school. This is a piece of leather that I've put through my Sizzix machine, and I've embossed with love across the bottom there. I don't know whether you can quite see that on the camera, and the top is scalloped, and that was an edging die that I used. Here I have printed off a label and I've blown it up to that size, and I've made a tiny little journal out of that with some little pockets and some tags in. And I've used my Martha Stewart edge punches throughout that. Little tags there. This side I've got a side pocket with a tag in it and a little paper rose and a little tag on top as well. Again, a piece of paper from just an old notebook and a bird page again. The strings, a little piece of ephemera. I think that might be from Tim Holtz. I've got a selection of ephemera from Tim Holtz that I occasionally use. I don't like to use it because I don't like to not have it because it's such a lovely little collection. Again, a little black and white photograph and print off from Pinterest. Glassine bag that I've coffee stained. There are, again, I think it's from Tim Holtz, little pack. And a little envelope, little quote, and two frames that I have cut out with my Sizzix. And that just tucked underneath there. This is some double-sided ribbon. It's got a tape on the back, and although it's quite fiddly to use, it's beautiful. There's little roses that go all the way down through there, and I've got the tab on top there. Just two blank tags there. Print out from Pinterest. Again, another print out. A glassine bag there, which is I've made into a little pocket. With a couple of tags there as well, and a little picture. Some lace here, held on with a safety pin, and there's a little tiny feather there. Just sewn some ribbon on there. Bingo card, and inside a little envelope. Some tissue sewn on or stuck on down through there, and some measuring tape ribbon that I've stuck on. Another little tuck with a Paris postcard. Some ribbon, those two, photo mats. This I printed off quite large because I wanted it to be, to be able to see the actual picture because it was quite small, and then I vintaged it up a little bit. I put a crease through it to make it look like it had been stuck somewhere for a long time. Just a little journaling spot. Another little printout with that stamped on the back, and this is a piece of vellum paper that I've put through my Sizzix, and I've embossed, I don't know whether you can see the floral pattern on there, and again I've sewn a piece of like a crochet lace down through there, and I've got a little Tim Holtz pin there. Again, printed off from Pinterest. This one is Ephemera's Vintage Garden again, with some lace down through that side. Peg holding on to bits of ephemera. Little envelope, some tickets, little banner at the top there. And some little ovals to write on, and that one I've used the rub-ons on again, some golden rub-ons. That's the centre of that one. These are just pieces of book pages that I've just aged a little bit. And the Tim Holtz pin. Journaling card. Some more tickets that have been printed off. A little tuck spot with that. Just a little bit of sewing at the top and bottom. Paper doily tuck and a little tiny tag with the tassel on. And another little journaling card there underneath that doily. Some sewing around there and some zigzag and a little pattern down there as well. And this is the velour paper which I've just left plain. I haven't embossed that one, just at the back there. So that is my latest journal, which will be going off in the post early next week. I hope you've enjoyed looking at this video. Give it a thumbs up if you've liked it, and I will see you again soon. Thanks for watching. Bye!